Okay, Braden, I am going to attempt to give you a crash course in multiplying a whole number by a fraction. But before we can get to that, there's a couple of things that we need to review that you already know, but that are going to be important to remember when we're doing this. Okay? So the first thing is of means times. Of, when you see that word, means times. So when we were saying 3 times 4, you know that's 12. Why is it 12? Because it's 3 groups of 4. 3 groups of 4. When you see of, you want to remember that that means you're multiplying. 1/3 of 7 means you're multiplying 1/3 times 7. And we're going to talk more about that. But remember, of means multiply. Something else to remember is that fractions mean divide. This line right here is another way of saying division. So we can write division like this, right? We can write division like this, or we can write division like this. And when you're dividing, you're breaking something into equal groups, okay? So 1/3, you could say, or you could say 1 divided by 3. 1/3 you can write like this, 1 divided by 3. And what that means is you have 1 whole, and you have divided it into 3 equal pieces. So 1/2, we could say, is 1 divided by 2. That means we have 1 whole, and we're dividing it into 2 pieces. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The last thing I kind of want to review before I get into your new math topic is our multiplication and division fact families. You know that 6 times 5 is 30. And you know that 5 times 6 is 30. But we have to remember that the opposite of multiplication is division. Okay? Now these are whole numbers. So if 5 times 6 is 30 and 6 times 5 is 30, then 30 divided by 6 equals 5, and 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Those numbers are all related. Now this is important because when you're multiplying a whole number times a fraction, okay, you can still fill in this fact family. So I'm just going to give you the answer for this one. But 1/3, and I'm going to go over a strategy for this in a minute, times 9 equals 3. That means that 3 divided by 1/3 is 9, and 3 divided by 9 is 1/3. 3/9 equals 1/3. Remember when we talked about equivalent fractions? 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9. These are all things that we're going to want to keep in mind. The same properties that we talk about when we're working with whole numbers are going to happen with fractions. So I'm going to do an example with you, and then I actually printed out a copy of your exit ticket, and I figured we could do that together. Okay? So let's think about an example. Okay? I had 2 pizzas. Mr. Costa ate 1/4 of my food. It was probably when he got up during the night to eat. How much total pizza did he eat? So I always say when we're solving a word problem, we want to make a picture of it in our mind. And you can even draw a picture of it. Okay, so, but first I'm picturing me and I've got 2 big cheese pizzas in front of me and I put them in the fridge, and then I'm picturing Mr. Costa going in the fridge and taking part of that, okay? Now it says I had 2 pizzas and he ate 1/4 of them. What does of mean? Of means multiply. He ate 1/4 of my 2 pizzas. So I know that I'm multiplying 1/4 of, or times, 2. And we're going to see what that equals. I'm going to show you the shortcut because I know you and I know that's going to be your best strategy, but I also want to show you in pictures. So here's pizza number 1, whole pizza. Here's pizza number 2, whole pizza. If I was to divide this into 4 equal pieces, that would mean I would have 2 pieces here and 2 pieces here, right? So 2 pizzas, when I divide them into fourths, is 4/4. And he ate 1/4, right? So he only ate 1 of these pieces. But it's 1/4 of what I had, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. But the question says, how much total pizza did he eat? So did he eat a whole pizza, 1/4 of a pizza, 1/2 of a pizza? Well, let's look at the pizza. He didn't eat this one at all. That's still there for me. Okay? He ate this. So of 1 of the pizzas, he ate 1/2. That's how you could show that in pictures. If I want to do the equation, well, to multiply 2 times 1/4, 2 is the same as 2 wholes, right? 2 wholes we can put over 1. Then your trick is multiply your numerator. 1 times 2 is 2. Multiply your denominators. 4 times 1 is 4. 2/4. 2/4, but I got 1/2 here. Why? Oh, that's right. We can reduce this. I can divide the top and the bottom both by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. There's my 1/2. He ate 1/2 of a pizza. I know it's a little confusing. We're going to do a couple more together. All right. The other way that we could think of this, though, and if you look here, we had 2 pizzas, right? And we divided them into 4 pieces. Okay. Same idea. Is instead of saying 2 times 1/4, I can just say 2 divided by 4. We'll get there. I'm not worried. Now, take out your exit ticket and let's work on this together. Okay? So our learning target says I can multiply a fraction by a whole number and explain my thinking. And we're going to explain our thinking through pictures. So number 1 says there are 24 pencils in Bryce's pencil box. Make a picture of that in your head. I'm picturing a boy named Bryce. He has a pencil box and it's filled with pencils. There are 24 of them. 3/4 of the pencils are mechanical pencils. Okay, so what I'm thinking that means in my head, and you may picture it differently, 3/4 of 24 pencils are mechanical. Okay, so that means if I had 24 pencils, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here are my 24 pencils. 3 out of every 4 are mechanical. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 of them are mechanical. This one is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 are mechanical. 1 is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 are mechanical. 1 is not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 are mechanical. 1 is not. 3, 4. 3 are mechanical, 1 is not. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 are mechanical, 1 is not. So right away, I can figure out my answer and then come up with the equation to figure it out. So I want to know how many are mechanical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Right? And my picture shows that. I also know that of means times, okay? 3/4 times 24. Let's see if we can figure that out. We said we're going to multiply the top and then multiply the bottom. So 24 times 3, I'm going to set up my area model. 20 plus 4 times 3. 3 times 2 is 6 and a 0. 3 times 4 is 12. Partial product, 60 and 12. It's going to be 72. You might have used the standard algorithm. That's okay. 72 over 4. We know, though, that this fraction line means divide. So I'm not done yet. I need to divide 72 by 4. I'm going to flip this over so I have a little bit more room. Because we're going to review 72 divided by 4. I want to make sure that you remember what this looked like when you did it. This was when you said 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2, that would be 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times maybe 5 is 20. 4 times 10 equals 40. 4 times 20 equals 80. Remember when we did this? 80 is too big. So I'm going to start here. Okay, 4 times 10 is 40.
Here's what I found.
Okay, now I got to try to get to 32. I'm going to say 4 times 5 is 20. And then 4 times what is 12? That would be 4 times 3. So I have 10 plus 5 plus 3 equals 18. That was the answer that we got with our picture right in the beginning. Okay? This was a lot of steps to follow, but if you can remember that of means times, you're going to do just fine. Of means times. Let's look at number 2. And the good news is I'm trying to set it up so next week, maybe Miss Green can call you and work through all of these with you and keep you on track. All right, number 2 says, Eduardo had 18 candies. I'm picturing somebody named Eduardo with 18 candies. 2/3 of the candies were butterscotch discs. 2/3 of them of means times. How many were butterscotch discs? So, here's my equation. I could show this the same way that I showed the last one. I could make my 18 candies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? 2 out of every 3 are butterscotch. So I could say butterscotch, butterscotch, no. Butterscotch, butterscotch, no, right? Butterscotch, butterscotch, no. Butterscotch, butterscotch, no. Right? Butterscotch, butterscotch, no. Butterscotch, butterscotch, no. Okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 butterscotch candies. Because of his 18, 2 out of every 3 were butterscotch. That means that 1 out of every 3 was not. Now let's solve. 18 times 2/3 equals. I'm going to put my 18 over what? What am I going to make that denominator if it's a whole number? I'm hoping you said 1. Okay? And now I'm going to multiply my numerators and then multiply my denominators. So 18 times 2. You can do the area model again, or you can use your standard algorithm. 2 times 8 is 16. Write your 6, regroup your 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 36. And 3 times 1 is 3. 36 over 3. Not done. Okay? I can't leave my answer like this. I need to convert it back into a whole number, right? Fraction line means divide. So I can set up here, this is a much smaller equation, 36 divided by 3. Okay, so I might say, okay, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 10 is 30. That's pretty close. So I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to do 3 times 10 is 30. That leaves me with 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 10 plus 2 equals 12. All right. I hope this helped you get through your math today. And starting next week, we should be able to give you a little bit more support. Good luck, bud.